Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, welcome you all to the Industrial Pharmacy third week lecture number 6, that is equipment used in preparation of pharmaceutical suspension. Dear students, we are calling from the previous lectures in which we have discussed in detail about the pharmaceutical suspension, general description, classification of pharmaceutical suspension, as well as we have also discussed briefly the pharmaceutical application of suspension. Remember that in the previous lectures we have explained discussion on the formulation of pharmaceutical suspension, the different ingredients that is the part of formulation. One by one we have discussed in the previous lectures. In the today lecture we will discuss the different equipment that is used in the preparation of pharmaceutical suspension. If we are going to prepare the pharmaceutical suspension, the different equipment will be utilized in the pharmaceutical industry, either on the large scale preparation in the pharmaceutical industry, or as you know, that is the small scale up techniques are also exercised for the optimization of the product, and that particular section in which the formulation is developed and optimized is termed as R&D section. R&D stands for research and development section. Prior to the formulation are optimized, and after that optimization, the optimized formula are exercised for the large scale production of the pharmaceutical suspension. The main objectives of today's topic is to learn about the various equipment that is utilized in the preparation of pharmaceutical suspension, including mechanical stirrers, colloid mill, ball mill, and homogenizer. In today's lecture, our focus will be on these equipment. Dear students, after the completion of this lecture, you will be able to know about the various equipment utilized in the preparation of pharmaceutical suspension that I have told you, that is mechanical stirrer, colloid mill, ball mill, as well as homogenizer. The first equipment, that is mechanical stirrer, we have also studied that particular equipment and the pharmaceutical emulsion as well. Mechanical stirrer, using this equipment, a pharmaceutical suspension may be prepared using a number of impellers. Impellers means that is the mixing devices. As you know, the mixing equipment consists of two main parts. The first one, that is container, and the second one, that is impeller. Impeller means that is the mixing device. Recalling from the 7th semester chapter mixing, in which we have studied in detail the three main types of impellers, that is mixing devices are there, including propellers, turbines and pedals. In that chapter of mixing, we have studied in detail on these three types of the impellers or the mixing devices. And the pharmaceutical suspension, either the propellers or the turbines, these are the two main types of the impellers which are used in the preparation of pharmaceutical suspension. Propeller produce axial moments, while turbine produce radial and tangential movement. Either of these two impellers, propellers or turbines, are mounted on central shaft, and that particular central shaft is responsible for their rotation. And for low viscosity suspension, the first one, that is propeller type impeller, is used, but for higher viscosity, the impeller used, that is turbine. Hence it is clear from this discussion that pharmaceutical suspension can be prepared by using various types of impellers, including propellers and turbines. Whatever the impeller used, they are mounted on central shaft and the equipments, and there are choice for the selection. Either low viscosity suspension are prepared or the higher viscosity suspension are prepared. For low viscosity suspension, propeller type impeller or mixing device is used, and for higher viscosity suspension, turbine type of the impeller is used. The degree of agitation in the mechanical stirrer is controlled by the rotational speed of impeller and by the patterns of liquid flow. The degree of agitation, that is controlled by these two factors, either by rotational speed of impeller or by the patterns of liquid flow or combination of both, while the resultant efficiency of mixing are controlled by that we are desirous to make it the mixing efficient. Then the efficiency of mixing will be controlled by the four factors. First one is the type of impeller, that is the mixing device, either the propellers or turbine that is used, The second one is its position in the container. The suitable position in the container must be selected in order to give the maximum efficiency for mixing, and the baffle of the third one, that is the presence of baffles and the use of baffles, that is responsible for the flow of liquid or pattern of liquid changing, and the last one, that is the general shape of the container. The container shape is also of prime importance in the resultant efficiency of mixing. In this discussion, we have learned about the first one, that is the degree of agitation controlling, and the second one is the resultant efficiency of mixing. And the different factors by which the degree of agitation is controlled, and the four factors that affect or that is responsible for controlling the resultant efficiency of mixing. The second equipment that is used for the preparation of pharmaceutical suspension, that is termed as colloid mill. Colloid mill operate on principle of high shear, which is normally generated between the rotor and stator of the mill. This colloid mill we have also studied in the previous chapter of the pharmaceutical emulsion, and the specific topic was equipment used for emulsification or emulsion formulation. Colloid mill consists of fixed stator plate and a high-speed rotating rotator lead. Material drawn or pumped through an adjustable gap that is set between the rotor and stator. Rotor will be in the rotation and stator will be in the static condition, and by this drawn or pumping through these two, that is rotor and stator, the material is homogenized by physical action, and centrifugal force is created by high rotation of the rotor. Whereas something gap between these two, and the material is drawn through that adjustable gap that is set between the rotor and stator. Looking at the diagram, you can see the hopper in which the material is drawn or put, and rotor and stator is there. Stator is static condition. Between the rotor and stator, the material is being drawn, and the high shear action is created, and that is responsible for the formulation of the pharmaceutical suspension. Colloidal mills are used primarily for the combination, that is the particle size reduction of the solid, as well as for the dispersion of suspension containing poorly wetted solids. But it is also useful for the preparation of relatively viscous emulsion. It means that there are three main uses of the pharmaceutical, and the pharmaceutical by this piece of equipment that is termed as colloid mill, that is primarily used for the particle size reduction of the solids and for the dispersion of suspension that contain poorly wetted solids, as well as the colloid mill is useful for the preparation of pharmaceutical emulsion. But in this case, the pharmaceutical emulsion preparation is of a relatively viscous type. It is a relatively viscous one, and that is emulsion and we are going to formulate it, we can prepare using colloid mill. Another equipment that is used for the preparation of pharmaceutical suspension is ball mill. We have also discussed this piece of equipment in the 7th semester, recalling from 7th semester, in which we have studied this equipment. Suspension formulation, that is ball mill. And this piece of equipment we have also studied in the previous semester, while discussing in detail the different types of mills. The construction of ball mill, that is hollow cylindrical shell, that is rotating around its axis, and that particular cylindrical shape shell is partially filled with balls that is made up of stainless steel or rubber. The composition of ball, that the construction of ball, they are made up of materials, either the stainless steel or the rubber. The question asks that the balls used in the ball mill is made up of. Definitely it may be made up of stainless steel or maybe rubber. The cylindrical shape shell contains balls that occupy about the 30 to 50% of the mill volume. If the total volume is of the mill is 100, and we will prefer to use the area occupied or the volume occupied by the ball 30, and it may be up to 50% of the volume of the mill. In usual cases, a ball mill contains, that is one mill that is 1 meter diameter, and it will use the balls that is approximately 75 millimeter. The size of the ball will be 75 millimeter, and the diameter of the mill is 1 meter. In the larger version, using balls of 150 millimeter diameter. Now let's come to the inner surface of the ball mill. The inner surface of the shell or cylindrical shaped shell is lined with abrasion resistant material to avoid the abrasion, to avoid the disintegration and fragmentation from the mill. The inner surface of the shell is lined with abrasion resistant material such as manganese, steel or rubber. That is the inner surface composition of the ball mill to avoid the abrasion from the mill. If it is occurred, that is abrasion occurred, then it's also become part of the formulation, and the formulation will be contaminated after the abrasive material if it is used in the inner surface of the cylindrical shell. Hence it is recommended that the inner surface of the shell or cylindrical shaped shell should be lined with the abrasion resistant material, and the example of abrasion resistant materials are manganese, steel or rubber. Now let's discuss that what is the principle of working on the ball mill. The ball mill works on the principle of impact, that is between the rapidly moving ball and the powder material. The impact action is generated between the rapidly moving ball, that is either composed of stainless steel, that is either composed of rubber, and that also occupies 30 to 50% of the total volume of the mill, and both the rapidly moving balls, either of the stainless steel or the rubber composition, and the powder material that we want to process, both are enclosed in the hollow cylinder or hollow cylinder shaped shell, and by this rapidly moving balls and powder material, between these two the impact occur. By the process of impact, the processing is performed. After that, we will discuss the speeds. At low speed, the ball roll over each other, and attrition, that is the rubbing action, will be predominant mode of action if the speed is slow. Thus, in the ball mill, impact or attrition both are responsible for the particle size reduction. If you desire to reduce the particle size of the material by the low speed, as you know that attrition occurs and impact occur by the rapidly moving ball and powder material. Between these two, that is the rapidly moving balls and the powder material, the impact occur, while at low speed the balls roll over each other and attrition, that is the rubbing action, will occur, and that will be a predominant mode of action. Hence it is clear that both impact or attrition both are responsible for the processing of the material. Let's discuss the advantages of ball mill. Its major advantages include: it can produce very fine powder. If it is desirous to produce the fine powder and the particle size is desirous to be reduced to fine, then the ball mill can be utilized for the production of very fine powder. The second advantage is ball mill is not only used for the wet but also for the dry grinding processes. If it is wet grinding processes and wetting materials are added, or the solvents are added, and after that solvent addition, the wet particle size or polymerization is desirous. In this case, the ball mill is used. If the dry grinding is required, in this case the ball mill is also useful in both conditions of the both that is wet and dry grinding processes. The third advantage of the ball mill is that toxic substances can be grown. The particle size reduction of the substances which are toxic in nature is safely process is the cylinder shape composition of this mill is closed system, and the chances of the contamination to the environment are prevented as the system is closed one. We would prefer to process the toxic substances by using ball mill because it is safe to use and the cylindrical shell is closed one. The fourth advantage is rod or bar can also be used as grinding medium. In some cases rods are used or bars are used. For example, sticky material size are reduced by using rod or bars, because sticky material will stick over the ball and the processes of the material will be difficult. Hence rods or bars can also be used as grinding media. For example, sticky material particle size is reduced by using rod or bars. The last one, that is installation, operation and labor costs are low. Just we are going to introduce the feed and we will turn on the ball mill and the speed of the equipment is adjusted and there is no need of the labor, and installation cost is low and operation is simple. These are some of the advantages of the ball mill. While there are certain main disadvantages of using this piece of equipment, the first main disadvantage is this piece of equipment produces very noise, pollution, and it is difficult to handle the noise generation by using this equipment. And the second is ball mill is a very slow process. Processing is slow. As you know that at low speed it causes the rubbing action, and rubbing action is responsible for the particle size reduction, and that's rolling of the ball for one another is necessary for that particular action, and by using this mechanism of the rubbing for one another, that is difficult and the process is very slow. The last one is soft fibrous material cannot be made by using this piece of equipment. The material is soft, it is not hard one, and it is made up of fibers, and by using this equipment we cannot process if the material is of soft nature or the fibrous one. The last one, that is homogenizer. We have also discussed this particular piece of equipment in the previous chapter, recalling from that, and the process of emulsion formulation we can also utilize this piece of equipment, but remember that the pressure difference are there. Homogenizer may be used in one of the two ways. Either the ingredients in the pharmaceutical suspension are mixed, that is the first case, and then passed through the homogenizer to produce the final product. That is the first case, the first way, that the ingredients of the formulation are mixed with one another and then it is processed through the homogenizer to produce the final pharmaceutical suspension or final product. And the second case is the coarse suspension, that is the basic product. It is introduced inside the wall sheet at high pressure. But remember that the pressure as normally used, that is 1000 to 5000 psi. Remember that in the pharmaceutical emulsion, this pressure developed was 500 to 5000 psi. In the case of coarse suspension, it is the basic product. The high pressure generation, that is in the range of 1000 to 5000 psi. And that particular coarse suspension, along with the generation of the high pressure that is generated and developed, that is 1000 to 5000 psi, then the coarse suspension flow through the region between the wall and the sheet at high velocity as the high pressure developed. With a rapid pressure drop, it causing cavitation. Cavitation means just like the bubbling formation, and subsequently the mixture hit the impact ring, that causing further disruption, and then discharge as a homogenized product. The homogenized product is produced by using the high pressure, that is 1000 to 5000 psi, and the material is introduced or flows through the region between the wall and the sheet. As the diagram sheet is the material, that is the feed, that is introduced with high pressure of the 1000 to 5000 psi, and then high pressure generated compel this one between the sheets and the impact ring, and that produces the homogenized product. Remember that if the desired formulation or homogenization is not achieved by using the first processing, then the reprocessing or recycling of the product is performed. It is postulated that circulation and turbulence are responsible for the homogenization that takes place in the formulation. That's all about the various equipment used in the formulation of the pharmaceutical suspension. References you can consult: Blackman, Lieberman, The Theory and Practice of Industrial Pharmacy, 3rd edition, pages 488 and 490. The pages may be varied in the latest edition or any other edition. And the second reference you can consult for this lecture, that is Cooper and Grounds Tutorial Pharmacy, 6th edition, pages 188 to 189. These are uploaded on the university portal. You can download or you can use these equipments from website as well. A review over the 2D lecture. In 2D lecture we will discuss mechanical stirrers and the different types of impeller used, either propellers and turbines, and which case propellers are used, and in which case the turbine is used. For low viscosity, propeller will be preferred, and for high viscosity of the pharmaceutical suspension, the turbine will be utilized. And after that we have discussed in the degree of vegetation is controlled by the 2 factors, and the resultant efficiency that is controlled by the 4 factors. Fluid mill, at how a colloid mill operates, and that is the diagram. And the primary use of the colloid mill, that is for the particle size reduction of solids and for the dispersion of pharmaceutical suspension that contain co-elevated solids, and as well as the colloid mill is useful for preparation of planetary viscous emulsion. After that, we have discussed in detail ball mill, the composition of the ball mill, composition of the ball, construction material of the ball, the inner surface composition, the size of the ball, and the working principle of the ball mill. And finally, the impact and attrition, both are responsible for particle size reduction. Some advantages of ball mill, disadvantages of ball mill, and finally we have discussed homogenizer, that is utilized in the pharmaceutical suspension processing, and by using homogenizer can be used in one of the two ways. Either the first case, the ingredients in the suspension are made and then passed through the homogenizer to get the final product, and the second one is, the second way is that the coarse suspension, that is the basic product that enters the wall seed and it is processed for the homogenization. And the diagram, that the feed, the seed, and different areas, and the feed is introduced, and by high pressure it is forced to high velocity between the seed and the wall, and homogenized products are received by using a pressure mechanism. And finally, I have also told you about the references or the book consulted for this topic. Thank you all for your attention. Inshallah, we will discuss this topic on the online class as well using Google Meet. Thank you all for your attention.